Big Dog. We'll get started shortly here. I'm just getting set up. As you guys know, we're simultaneously doing this the highlights on the MontrealGazette.com. Oh, hello, Jody. Hello, Big Da. We're gonna get going pretty soon here. We'll get you. I'll get you the lines soon. I'm watching the broadcast right now, and they seem a little surprised about the lines, but I wonder. Yes, Jody's asking about the lineup changes. I'm getting you the lines right now. Hold on, let's do this. Let's do this. Do this. Do this. Why are they being weird about the lines? I guess they'll. I don't know. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna post the lines for you right now. Habs lines tonight are right here. Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Suzuki, as always, your first line. Newhook, Evans, Demidov. Hey, man, if second line ain't broke, don't fix it. Bolduc, Doc, Valeno. And then Texier, Deneau, Anderson. Uh, Matheson, Carrier, Hudson, Dobson, Jackeye, Gooley, basically the same. Dobesh. What does Got the Sabres lines for you too. Here, let's just put the Sabres lines up too. You may want to know who's in the lineup for the Sabres or not. Needless to say, the Sabres are once again going with UPL, Luukkonen and Nets. He was fantastic. 28 saves on Tuesday. Definitely not the Alex Lyon series anymore. I'm sure he's done. Um, that big defense still going. Luke Schen's back in the lineup again. I do think that I would imagine they looked at that 1-7 Habs power play and were like, "Hey, Luke Shen did his job." So I'm sure we're gonna see that again on the penalty kill for them, and then Hellenius is back in as well. So they're not putting in. We're not seeing Carrick. So Carrick will never get a chance, I think, to avenge that sucker punch. Why do I have a little schmutz on the bill of my hat here? Jody says, I was thinking Kapanen might be inserted. I thought that was a possibility too, but no lineup changes. Max, hey Max, good to see you again. I think whoever wins this game will win the series. I'm looking for a dominant win tonight. Do you think we're past the point of dominant wins? The Habs won two in dominant fashion. You could argue that Buffalo, I don't think they dominated game one, but they had a pretty clean win, and then the last game was a bit of a toss up. I don't know if we're past the point of like, is everything gonna be close from here on in? But I will agree with you, Max, that whoever wins tonight will have a massive advantage. You also said these boys better be ready to play from the get-go. That hasn't been the case so far. In game three, that Montreal won, as you know, Buffalo scored in the opening minute, and then in game four, they scored the first goal as well. So the Canadiens really need to not be doing that. Proud to have to say, living in Boston, wearing my sweater proudly today. Life must be tough for a Montreal fan in Boston, but thank you so much for joining. We also got Karen. I didn't forget you. Hi, Karen. What's happening? David Darcy's coming in with Go Habs Go. Always good. Hopefully we have a lot of jump to start the game. Just be cautious of pen. Pen? Pen. Do we know the refs? Do we know the refs? Let me check. I have to admit, the refs is not something that I frequently look into because I'm just like, they are what they are. But here you go. Why not get the refs for you guys tonight? Here we go. We do have the refs tonight, Jody. Let me give them to you. Here are your officials tonight. Chris Rooney and Graham Skilleter, got some vets in there. Bevan Mills and Keel Murchison as your linesmen. So there you go. We got some refs tonight. Penalties. So last game, Boston had a huge, or Buffalo had a huge disadvantage. They got way more penalties than the Habs did. Uh, and the Canadiens proceeded to only score one power play goal. They went 1 for 7 on the power play. And that was probably the difference between winning and losing. Hey, Darcy, UPL is a solid goalie, but inconsistent. That has been the tag on him his whole career. Looked fantastic on Tuesday, but we don't know which UPL will show up. Rooney is okay, isn't he? I don't remember, and if I don't remember, then it means he's probably good, right? Because I remember the ref said everybody hates, and if I don't remember you, other than I know Chris Rooney because he's been there forever, and I just don't remember anyone ever being too hard on him. So I'd imagine he is a good ref. Hey Karen, good to see you again. I get lots of respect, only a few haters. Big Dog, I back in the day, um, man, what year was it? 2012, 2013. One of those years where PK scored a big goal against Bruins in the playoffs. I can't even remember now. But I did go to Boston to watch a game in full Habs regalia. And my friend did get into a little bit of a fight. Not a bad one. Somebody attempted to rip his commemorative towel from his hand, and my friend tried to yank it from him, and he yanked him one row over. He like flew over into the other row as he was airborne, tried to take a bit of a swing, and and yeah, so that's my Boston story. Hey guys, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta go get my dog. My poor dog's toy has fallen under the couch, and I have to go save my dog's toy. You understand, right? He's gonna bark all night if I don't nip it in the bud right now. So I'm gonna go get my dog's toy, and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Dog's ball has been saved. Hey Kelly, big game. This is a big game. Can we please, for one night, not complain about the officiating? The officiating is going to be what it's going to be. They're going to miss calls. They're going to make weird calls. It happens every game. Canadians actually got more power plays than Buffalo last game and couldn't take advantage. So Karen says I'm so freaking nervous. We just have to do this, but I do have faith Lindy the whiner is driving me insane. He is after the games being a big whiner, and it's annoying. He's like a poor man's John Cooper, right? I'm also not a big fan. Let me get the lineups up again. I'm sure you guys wanted to see. Same lineup though, nothing too shocking tonight. Hey, Robert. Robert says we blew it last game. Yeah. Did last game feel like a missed opportunity for you guys? It wasn't like Montreal got the crap kicked out of them. It really was like Habs had a chance to win it and could not win it, is how it felt. Mark says, I know I'm a pessimist, but I really do not feel much confidence tonight. I hope I'm wrong. Really? They were so good in games 2 and 3. And they weren't that bad in game 4. I'm surprised that you're like not confident. If it's and butts from candies and nuts, we would all have a Merry Christmas. Very disappointed that we aren't trying to eliminate these guys. Yeah, that's that, and they're gonna have to get that out of their heads, right? The Habs are gonna have to like forget about what happened in Game 4. If I can watch live, hopefully you can stay and relax. The boys have got this. Go Habs, go! Fluke goal, yes, the Zamboni goal is a fluke goal. We need this game, and you also think Mark is wrong about being pessimistic. Yeah, I'm not like that. I don't know. I'm not that pessimistic about it. I still think on paper, not even on paper, what we've seen so far, the Canadiens are the better team. Now the Canadiens are still in a position where they could like lose it themselves. And as Robert points out, the first line is still not really getting anything done. Worst case scenario tonight, Buffalo gets to Dobesh and romp to a big win. Yes, that would not be great. The lack of killer instinct in game 4 really worries me. Yeah, and then like and then also that the fact that game 7 against Tampa didn't actually like play better. They just kind of got it done, but Max also presents a best case scenario is that the Habs blow out both Buffalo goalies. They've already chased one goalie. They could chase another goalie. Kelly says, I wish that were true. There are few on here that actually believe the Habs never deserve a penalty. Karen's taping the Victoire game. Robert says, the Habs are young, but so is Buffalo. Look at Minnesota, Karen says. They were up 3-0 last night. Now they're eliminated. Karen says there are plenty of reasons to complain about the officiating. If it doesn't needlessly affect the outcome of these playoffs games, no one would complain. Lots of speculation about Slavkovsky being hurt. I don't think he is. I don't know. He's taken two conks to the head in the first round. I don't quite know what happened there. Oh, got a little Go Habs go from Phil. Always happy to have Phil here. Karen says, I know I didn't want to play Mini, but how did that happen? I know, Karen. Last night you said, like, oh, I don't want to meet, or last game you're like, oh, I don't want to meet Philly or meet Mini. And I'm like, how are they doing? And I'm like, oh, they're actually pretty close to getting eliminated here. Kind of surprising. And then sure enough, they got eliminated. Ogden's, hey, Ogden, I'm optimistic. I agree with your assessment, Eric. Do you think Marty is right to continue all in with the Suzuki line? 9 minutes or less for Doc line last game. So here's the funny thing about the top line. They didn't score at 5-on-5 yesterday or last game. They haven't scored 5-on-5 at all. Slavkovsky and Caulfield have 0 5-on-5 points in the playoffs, which is insane. But if you look under the hood in terms of like possession, Caulfield and Slavkovsky also combined for 10 shots last game. This team has won and lost by the first line all season. Sometimes you just got to go with the horses that brought you here. You know what I mean? Like, Kirby Dach's not all of a sudden going to be able to play like, I mean, he can play more than 9 minutes, that's for sure. But he's not going to be a first line player. Like that well has been, they've gone there and that hasn't worked out. At the end of the day, if this first line can't get done, there's like more questions than just that. So I think you gotta like let them get out of it, even if it's taking a while, and even if we're all frustrated. Like this team, like isn't gonna go anywhere if that line can't get it done. Like there's just bigger fundamental problems. So I think you just gotta like trust that they will find a way out of it. The first line is less than 50% goals expected. That has to be better. Yeah, it's been like a pretty stark contrast. Hey Timur, happy to see you. Yes, Caulfield indeed, all of his points are on the power play, as is Slavkovsky's. Incredibly disappointing. I'm not gonna sugarcoat any of that. All I can say is that uh this is the time that they need to figure out if they can take everything they did in the regular season and make it happen in the playoffs. Slav has not been good. It's not only Cole Caulfield. I would argue that Slavkovsky has now been worse than Caulfield. Caulfield at least has like the semblance of getting more chances. And he's been a couple posts away from scoring some big goals, and his timing's been a bit off and whatever. But like he's kind of back into looking like he might score a bit more. Whereas Slav just looked completely lost last game, I thought. What else do we got here? Hey, Ryan. Who's more dysfunctional, Toronto with a president who can't stay out of his way, or Edmonton for requesting to interview another coach before they fire their own coach? I think that Edmonton is more dysfunctional because they have the best player in the world and they can't figure anything. Like they can't figure it out. Like they've taken a massive step. They brought Stan Bowman in, and he's like, the team's taking a massive step back. Karen says Knobloch will be hired by another team in a nanosecond and collect his 3-year extension salary because Edmonton is crazy. I think, I mean, if I'm Toronto, I make that call in 5 minutes. Perfect coach for that team. How's the weather in Vancouver? How about Vancouver with a controlling owner who meddles continually? Yeah, if we add Vancouver to it, they are probably the most dysfunctional because they literally can't even. I feel like at this point they're even the ownership, because the problem is I think the family there, the Aquilinis, are fighting amongst each other. Say what you want about Edmonton, their owner's their owner. Toronto is owned by a giant corporation, but Vancouver, their owners like can't, like they're a family and they're like falling apart. So who knows? Max says maybe the best player in the world isn't a team player. Um, I don't know if what does that mean? If you're the best player in the world, you just like, I mean, he was playing with a broken ankle, I guess. So I mean, ultimately, if you're the best player in the world and you get paid a ton of money, you do have to carry the team on your back. You're not being more of a, I don't know, like being more of a team player. Like, I don't know exactly know what that entails in this case. I would not want my star player to recede into the background into a team game necessarily. Now, if he's like trying to make stupid plays and coughing up the puck all the time, I would agree with you. But I don't see that in Connor McDavid. What I see in Connor McDavid is a guy trying to like doing what he can to win and just not trusting his teammates, which frankly I kind of believe comes out of necessity. Habs need a second line center. There's the trade deadline has passed, my friend. It's a that's an off season question. No doubt Caulfield needs to be much better 5-on-5, and Sikorsky really needs to be stronger to help that line. He has been MIA. Ryan Katz says Stan Bowman thought it would be a good idea to sign Trent Frederick to an 8-year deal. He sure did. He sure did. How many goals did Trent score this year? 3 goals. Good evening, Michael. Good to see you again. McDavid left money on the table for Edmonton to get more help. They've gone backwards. Remember, they made what 2 finals in a row? Like they should be competing for another cup this year. So I don't. It's just a disaster. When Connor and Drysdale were complaining, I don't think they were talking about the coach. They definitely were not. They were definitely talking about management and player acquisitions. They were not dissing the coach at all. This is a disaster. But that being said, I think, I mean, if they just fire the coach without consulting Connor and Leon, they're crazy. Wait, Rick Woods, you were attacked? What happened? What are you talking about? You got attacked? I missed this. I missed this early message. Seaboard says, time to change up the lines. Scotty's brain cells and get passed down to Stan. That's funny. Oh, you got attacked by 3 geese. I see. I thought you were talking about people for a second, but yes, this is a country where we do get attacked by geese sometimes. I've been attacked by geese on the golf course. Bowman is an idiot and he will fire everyone around him to save his own job. Ownership needs to stand up, Karen says. I agree totally. Why does why does the recording of Money for Nothing at the Buffalo Arena sound so weird and echoey? Am I crazy? My headphones? Good song to come out to, actually. I don't hate it. Somebody called geese hissing cobra chickens. That's funny, Blue. Doc is a center with 4 goals in the playoffs already, with less than half the minutes the first line has. Looks like second line production to me. Yeah, it's funny because we talk about like the Evans line being the second line, but like I don't think there is a second line. I think there's the top line that's not really performing, and then there's 3 other lines that kind of get cycled pretty regularly, especially now that Gallagher's not in the lineup. So I don't consider Evans to necessarily be the second line center. I don't consider Doc either to be the second line center. But yeah, watch out for those geese, man. I still think John Cooper and Arbor Jackeye wind up in Toronto together. That's an interesting idea. I wonder if Jackeye signs here for next year. Congrats to Brett Kulak, the guy Edmonton thought wasn't good enough. Connor loved him. Yeah, I never really understood the all that movement on that trade. I guess they had to try to get under Kulak's contract to get Jason Dickinson. I don't know. This is the kind of weird mental math they're doing right now. That's sad. I watched the Hockey Inside Out show, Eric. Rick and Nux weren't too happy with the way the big man has been handled here in Montreal. No, they don't like it. They're both pretty big Jack Eye fans. Do I think Arbor will be back? I think so, but I it's weird. I guys, we should maybe have an off-season live blog together. Once this is all said and done, we should have an off-season live blog because the Canadiens have like too many players, and they're gonna want to get better. So they have like this kind of weird thing where it's gonna be one in, one out. Like they're gonna have to get rid of guys to bring in guys, and then Jack Guy's technically your like sixth best defenseman, so logically he'd be the one to go. Like it's kind of there's like a lot of weird questions here. Gallagher needs to take a front office job. I do wonder what's going to happen to Gallagher. I mean, it's hard to say no to 6.5 mil. How can you play him 348? It was a very, yeah. But remember that in the regular season, that's not going to happen, right? Like in the regular season, not only are you going to cycle through your top six, you're probably going to cycle through, 8 or 9 or 10 defensemen in a season. So I wouldn't count. I mean, also this Arbor didn't play because we had 7 power plays. Karen says we would never trade Arbor to Toronto. We're 100% signing Arbor. What's wrong with you people? Yeah, I would say that if they were to trade Jack Eye, it would be for like a good, like they wouldn't just let him go. They would like do it because they want to get a really good player. And I don't think that it would be to Toronto. Nobody tougher on the team than Jack Eye. I know. That's why I came up with the headline for the latest episode of Hockey Inside Out. If you've some of you've watched it, thank you so much for watching, by the way. But that was a great episode. I was really happy about that one. It's true that he can accept an offer sheet, but I will say, Rick, it doesn't happen that often. It doesn't happen that often. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. This offseason might be crazy. There might be Austin Matthews might be traded. Um, Brady Kachuk might be traded. Like lots of good big names are going to get traded. So all kinds of crazy stuff can happen. Montembeau's at the morning skate with the extras. Yeah, he's still around. They didn't send him home or anything. He's still with us, just in case. Max says, I love the HIO show. And then I love you, Max. Thank you so much for watching. It's been such a pleasure to. I'm the guy behind the scenes, twiddling the sound, making sure everybody looks and sounds okay. To the best of my abilities, of course, but it is a show on Zoom after all. There's only so much you can do. But thank you so much for watching, and there will be more episodes. Jason Pominville, love it. This, by the way, nothing more true. You guys have all said it. They need to get off to a faster start. Is that gas or an expression? What? What are you talking about? Rick Green is underrated and knows his stuff. He is really underrated because he's not a very he's not like a loud, he's not like a loud, pompous, arrogant guy. He's just like pretty like quiet, but he explains himself really well and absolutely knows defense inside and out. You do always comment hi Eric Karen. I try to fave it, but sometimes I get too busy. I don't even have a chance to like check the comments. But thank you so much. I will start typing. Which team's gonna get the yips? Yeah, Ogden. The fact that one of the best defensive defensemen that the Habs have ever seen and the toughest Habs the Habs have ever seen both love Arbor Jacki says a lot about the kind of player that Arbor is. Shoot on the net. See what they can do. Hi, Leafs fan. Good to see you. How's my day going? It's going pretty good. It's pretty good. Uh, Habs are in the second round, and the action is good. The hockey is good, Leafs fan. Well, this start is about as disastrous as you can imagine. Not even sure how that puck squeaked through. They have, I think, started to figure out get guys to the net and shoot from the point. Hey, Pimp Vash. This team just doesn't know how to start a game. It's three games in a row now where the Habs have given up the first goal. Absolutely terrible. Brutal. Especially after what happened last game. Dobish has to stop that one. There's like 80 bodies in front of the net. I don't know what he could have done. So that goal is going to Jason Zucker, assisted by Jack Quinn. And that goal comes at 158. Absolutely brutal. Exactly the kind of deflating start that you guys were all. Do I have a jersey? I do not. I'm just wearing a brandless white tee tonight. Really sad beginning. Next year we will be better. Yeah, but I want them to be good right now. I don't even need them to win the cup right now. I just think that they're good enough to beat the Sabres and just do that. Can't stop what you can't see. A typical modern hockey goal. Go get a new hat. Karen, I bought this hat today specifically to have a hat that has no preconceived bad karma. I purposely bought a new hat today. So I'm going to wear it to the end. It's not that we give up the first goal, it's that we do it within the first couple of minutes after being absolutely dominating in our zone. The team is too methodical, doesn't know how to play hard from puck drop. Yeah, it's Pimp, it's really been the same situation now for 3 straight games, and it's really mind-boggling. Why not just put Josh Anderson there? Just get a good forecheck going, and it doesn't have to you don't have to be any harder than you don't have to score in the first minute, but just keep the puck out of your zone for the first minute. It's just mind-boggling. This keeps happening. Do they make such a slow announcement to keep fan noise up? Yeah, they might, to be honest. I don't know. But yeah, a very Mark says I have a bad feeling Dobish might be due for a bad game. I don't know. He's been pretty he's good at forgetting quickly. Come on, Arbor, get a goal tonight. He's gonna have to play more than 3 minutes though if he wants a goal. It's early. The hat will work. I appreciate the confidence in the hat. By the way, it's an Olympic Stadium Expos hat. I don't know how you guys feel about the Olympic Stadium. Hey Ray-Ban, we look out of sync tonight. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it so far. They got 3 shots though. And yes, the team has been playing. This is a team that gets better as the game progresses, but in the playoffs, there's just no like room for error. You know what I mean? That's really the issue here. Like you just don't get time to the big O exactly. I've said this before. I love the Olympic Stadium. I love going there. I don't care that it costs a bajillion dollars. I don't care that they're repairing it now. I love it. It looks like a spaceship. It's the weirdest thing. It's great. Why are we talking about the next Leafs coach? I think we're nervous. We want something that we can laugh about. It's frustrating to watch them unprepared every game. Hey, EF. Good to see you. And Rabinov, good to see you as well. Matheson is usually very good, but on occasion makes brutal plays that lead to a goals against. Yeah, it's kind of he's got the Jeff Petrie thing about him where he handles the puck a lot. So he more often than not does a good play. Like his percentages are pretty good, but when he does make a bad play, it's like oh. As Blue said, series is tied. Habs come back great, led the league in comeback wins. They did, and it's never over with this Habs team. But I understand why everybody's super bugged about the fact that they have to constantly come back. Oh, what a beautiful goal! Unbelievable. Tied 1-1. Cole Caulfield finally at 5-on-5. Cole Caulfield has done it. It's tied 1-1. 5-on-5. Everybody take a shot. Everybody take a shot when we hear 5-on-5. Never over until the slightly overweight lady sings. Thank you for the more PC way of saying it, I suppose. Caulfield is on fire. He is officially on fire. I love knowing Habs goals are coming before I see them. That being that being said, when they let in a goal, it's agonizing. I don't think allowing the first goal means we're not ready. It means the other team scored first, nothing more, nothing less. Karen, I sometimes it's fluky. Like I think the Tage Thompson goal from like 2 games ago was pretty fluky, but then like sometimes like the goal comes after like when Buffalo's been in the zone for like a minute and a half and we've been stuck on that our fourth line had been stuck on the ice for a minute 35. Like that's like a bit different. That's like it is a pretty bad start. Hey Timur, if Cole Caulfield's scoring, the Canadiens are more likely to win. So I don't know if you gotta. I hope if the Habs win off the back of Cole Caulfield, you'll still be happy about it. Suzuki is an amazing, smart player. Bob says. Hey Bob, by the way. Hello, hello. Another Leafs fan here. What all the welcome all Leafs fans. I love it. We're all amigos here. Unless you're like one of those Leafs fans that come in to like talk about how shit we are, then maybe a little less so. But no, even then, it's all in good fun. I mean, Suzuki is quietly starting to rack up the points here. To all the new folks who are here, if you're wondering why am I typing furiously, I'm also updating the live blog on the Montreal Gazette.com website, which has all the goals and the highlights. So if you ever want to check that out, you can go check that out. We'll have lots of coverage after the game as well on the website, and Newhook is scoring tonight. Man, he's been on a streak. Speaking of streaks, Caulfield's got what, 4 goals in a row? Three in a row? If Slav starts doing the behind the back passes tonight, I'm gonna lose it. You and me both. You and me both. Better than the gambling ads. No gambling ads on this thing tonight. Just me blathering on, telling you that you shouldn't gamble. Ooh, Pinvat's trying to sell tickets. Anyone interested in 2 tickets to Game 6? I'm a season holder, but I can't go. This is going to end one at a time. You see on Ticketmaster, but will sell for less. I wish I'm doing the live blog though, but I wish I could. I'll if you want, I can ask around for you. Just for regular games, playoffs are on CBC Sportsnet. No delay. Watching live. Oh boy, and it's 2-1 Sabres. It looks like tonight might be a bit of a track meet. Oh my god. 2 goals on 2 shots. And Caulfield looks like couldn't clear it. It is indeed 2 goals and 2 shots for Buffalo. And that one's from wide out. I guess they've the book is now out. Not a great start. So who's that who scored? That was Josh Doan. Oh my god, are you kidding? I'm still typing. I'm still typing. This is crazy. It's tied 2-2. What the hell is going on? This game is officially off the rails. I get it, Timur. If you need to put the phone down, and I feel like I gotta put the phone down too. I have no idea. So that puck from the point bounces off Texier. Did he ever even see it? I don't think he ever even saw it. Oh my god, what a crazy. Looks like the defense is not here today for either side, Pimp, because it is officially 2-0. Habs have 9 shots somehow in the first 9 minutes of the game. I don't understand what's going on. Yeah, so it's 4 goals in the game's first 754. All 4 goals scored in a span of like 540 or something like that. Each gave up a weak one. I want Arbor to fight tonight. Don't think it'll happen. I don't think you blame the goalies for all 4 goals. No, I think the defense was more the rougher thing here. Hey Ray, clear the front of our net to get to the front. Theirs, and we'll be good. All even strength goals. I know, crazy. Demidov seems due, I would say. Dobish and UPL are taking it easy tonight. Both teams should just shoot the puck. They'll probably go in at this point and bring on the smaller nets. May come to that. What an insane start. All right, so let's give Jack already at 215. Oh no, it's already 3-2. What the hell? What a softie. Oh my god. Oh my god. They're going to yank him. This game is crazy. What an absolutely bonkers. I mean, Dobish looks completely off tonight. I mean, hit Hudson's skate, but like, what's going on tonight? This is disastrous. No. Dobish still in. Dobish still in. No yank. Who's your favorite player? My favorite player all time? I got to be a Patrick Waugh guy, man. Patrick Waugh, growing up, was my hero. So it's Constellanius. Nice play by a Jack Eye there. Nice play by Jack Eye. Love seeing what we're seeing from Arbor tonight. I mean, this game is just insane. Must be fun if you're in. Well, yeah, 3 goals in four shots for Buffalo. Completely, completely unacceptable. Whether it's the goalie or whatever. Have I ever been to a game? I've been to many a game. Leafs fan. They're none in Toronto though. I will say. Change goalie to switch the energy. A little surprised they haven't opted for that. Also, I like that I can clearly see that Dobesh is the back string in his helmet is off, so that he can easily pull off at this point. Dobie's having a bad night. Means nothing down the road, but it's Fowler's chance. They will make the change at the intermission. Bank on it. I thought from the beginning that we would see Fowler at some point in this series, or not in the series, in the playoffs. And then Dobish just got off to such a fast start. I was like, oh, I guess not. But oh, Dobish aggressively came out for that one. Well, it ain't dull, Timur. No, it's not dull, but it's definitely putting me in an early grave, maybe. Karen says no, not Patrick Waugh. No, I like Patrick Waugh. Youngest team in the playoffs, Rick Wood said. No, this game is a Rick. I will say that this game is a clusterfuck for everybody so far. As bad as it's looked for the Canadiens, they're only down a goal, and anything can clearly happen tonight. Last shot wins, perhaps. Should have yanked him after that last goal. Leafs fan went to the Sabres game. Yeah, I'd imagine some Leafs fans are there tonight. So easy into our zone, but let's keep blaming Dobesh. That's the thing, right? Like when your the goalie takes like gets a lot of credit when things go well, and they take a lot of the blame when things go badly. But you're right. The truth is, if Buffalo's got a minute and a half of zone time, every second that the Sabres are there increases their chances of scoring, and there's only so much a goalie can do. So nobody's using the youngest team excuse, but we are the youngest team. Oh my God, what are you guys even on about right now? Here, bad goals, yes, but the defensive coverage is lamentable. As always, Mark is the voice of reason around here. Very good way of describing it. Scary period, Kelly says. It has been scary. Still got some faves in. Michael Paul's fave is Guy Lafleur. Rabinov says Fowler's next goal. Fowler's coming in. It's possible Fowler comes in at the intermission. It's definitely possible. They're all over us. Slav can never get it out. Yeah, the zone exits, especially now that Dobson's back. So now you've got your best guy, your best two guys, him and Hudson, at getting the puck out. Like, why are you still so bad at it? Like, you were so good in the regular season, and now suddenly you don't know how to do it? Very strange. Giving them way too many high danger chances. Pitiful excuse, the young team. It's not an excuse so much as like they're gonna it's the old you have to learn to lose before you learn to win, unfortunately. So it's not like you're excusing their bad play because they're young. It's more just that's kind of the order in which life occurs, right? You kind of mess up and then you kind of figure it out. I think is more what I would say. Who were the defensemen on the last goal? Hold on, let me check the shift chart here. Uh, Hudson and Dobson, I think. I think it was Hudson Dobson on the third goal, right? Am I crazy? I believe it was. Slav has to turn up the intensity. Yeah, he does not. I'm surprised at how he's playing. Really disappointing. Still the first period. Plenty of time to clean some zone D coverage, play up, but have to do it. Marty's got to give him a good pep talk between periods, and that means ream him out. Whole team is off tonight. Youth is the factor of age. This team is experienced. Mark says, I'm bewildered with Slav's play. I just don't get it. Pimp Slash says, Slav is talented but doesn't have any other gear. He is what he is. Yeah, but I think he's playing like pretty badly. That's the thing. If he doesn't have like a massive gear more than the regular season, he still ought to be a pretty productive player in the playoffs. Cause he's big. Like he doesn't he's big and can handle the physical stuff. Like he I'm not expecting like star level play from him in the playoffs necessarily, but I think he ought to be better than he is. Like the drop from regular season to this playoffs for him has been like way more than I think we all expected. You know what I mean? Guys, Leafs fan is like the most optimistic right now. I mean, they're Leafs fans, so I guess they can afford to be optimistic, but I think he looks less effective because playoffs turn up the intensity and he stays the same. So he hasn't regressed. He just doesn't up his game. Yeah, I agree with that. And this playoffs, I think, have been a rude awakening for him. He's still young enough in his career. I know youth. He's still young enough that he can like take these playoffs and be like, "Wow, I didn't turn it up. I need to turn it up." And maybe he has it in him. Maybe he does not have it in him. I don't know the answer to that. But I just think that even Slav at that level should still be better than what we've seen. I think at 5-on-5. I think he's like gone especially down more than I thought. As far as experience goes, Buffalo haven't seen the playoffs for 14 years. That is true. And the guys that they do have, I don't think they have a ton of guys who experienced the playoffs on their respective teams prior. Rick says, I'm not worried about Demidov or Slavkovsky, but I still question the output of Mike. I assume Mike Dobson is Mike Matheson and Noah Dobson, and now Anderson in this series. Yeah, Anderson's been pretty quiet. I wonder if it's just because Tampa was he was like quite a bit faster and bigger, whereas Buffalo, everybody's kind of fast and big. So, what Josh, not sure what the hell that was from Dobson. It was pretty insane. Oh no, that was Jack Eye. I don't know what Jack Eye was doing there. Um, but yeah, yeah. No, that was what I was saying about Anderson. Slav and Demidov, Pinfast says, are playing their 17th playoff game. Stop using age. Fuseli has just scored. Seneki has 6 goals. Demidov hasn't delivered. Plain and simple. I'm not saying that they have or have not delivered. I'm just saying that it doesn't preclude them from delivering in the future. I would say. That's all I would say. I'm disappointed in how they've played in the playoffs. I think they have more to give. I think they have a lot more to give. But I also think that they've shown. I think they've shown that they have the capability of being good playoff players. It just like hasn't quite clicked for them yet. But I agree with you. I agree that they're not performing. It just doesn't, to me, preclude them from perhaps performing in the future. if you know what I mean. This game is a bit of a shit show here. Demitov's play, hey D Smith, by the way, Demitov's play has been uninspiring. Yeah, it hasn't been. The thing about Demitov that really disappoints me, I think to be fair, the second line's actually producing pretty well, and he is a key cog in that, like with Evans and Newhook. So he hasn't necessarily put up a ton of the points himself, but the line's played well, and he's been a big part of that line. I think the problem with Demidov has been his shooting has been so bad on the power play, and he's been other teams are leaving him open on the power play. So he's like the guy who always ends up being the trigger man on the power play, but he keeps missing the net by like so much, and it's just like, what the hell, dude? So that's why he's been looked pretty disappointing. But I do feel like within some uh within some moments, I do feel like Demidov is looking all right with the second line, or whatever you want to call that line, the Evans line. Lots of games left. Nerves are gone now. We need a fight. Well, we have a guy available. There's no excuse for Demidov's play. He just hasn't been. I think you guys are misconstruing me explaining why I think they're not playing well as excusing them not playing well, which is not the same thing. I'm not saying that I'm saying they're not playing well. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm like here are the elements that I see where they're like I see them trying to be good, but it's not working out. I think is how I would say. But I would not. I mean, the performance is like the numbers are there. You guys see what I see. Slavkovsky and Demidov haven't brought it in these playoffs, and the numbers are bad, and they haven't looked good. But I will say that it doesn't preclude them from turning it around at any point. Ramanov says Buffalo looks faster. They are used. They're starting to like play their game, which is like the Habs, predicated on a lot of speed. But then they've got the size element too. Just watch Slavkovsky on his shifts. It's bizarre. Out for a Sunday stroll. Yeah, he's not looking great. Not looking great. Hey She, happy to have you here. Yes, as you can imagine, a 3-2 deficit to the Sabres has brought out a lot of questions about who on the Canadians needs to step up. I mean, that was pretty wild play right there. Oh my god, I remember Bobby Hull hitting Gump Worsley in the forehead with a slap shot. Thought he was dead for a minute. Gump Worsley might have the only forehead on planet Earth that could survive a Bobby Hull slap shot, I will say. What a legend. Oh, what a brutal turnover there, yeah. Habs are horrible at getting the puck out of their end, nonstop turnovers, which is crazy because it's something they're usually pretty good at. They're usually pretty good at getting the puck out of the zone, and it ain't happening. Didn't the Gumper get hit with an egg as well that knocked him out? I don't remember that one. Why are we passing inside our D zone? Just chip it out. Yeah, the Habs have seemed to have forgotten their game a little bit here. Or they're trying very much to like play their game and I think are not doing what needs to be done in the playoffs. Nice chance to end the period, but that is all she wrote. What a bonkers period. Things kind of settled down actually in the last after all the goals were scored in the first 10-15 of the period. So that's that for a pretty crazy period one. It's 3-2 Sabres. Shots are 11. Why are they playing? Oh, I was like, why are they playing Buffalo Stance by Nina Cherry? It's like, oh yeah, because it's Buffalo. That's funny. That song has nothing to do with the city of Buffalo, but probably our worst period of the playoffs, says Rayman. Is that how you guys feel? Let me know if that's I'm curious to know if you guys feel the same way as Ray-Ban. Is this the worst period of the playoffs for the Habs? It was kind of nuts. It was they did score twice. They're only down a goal. But my goodness, did they allow some real stinkers? Some real stinkers that'll make you think about your life. So let me know what you guys think about that period. And if you think it was the worst period, the worst of the worst. All right, let's get a couple of your opinions in here. Do we have a lot? Oh, we got a lot of opinions. Hold on. Okay. Oh, I hate the way this thing works. Hold on. There you go. And then we'll do a quick. Okay. Oh my god, this thing is not working well. So terrible. Okay. Only down one after Dobie let in a couple bad ones. Very much in this game. So you're saying no. Kelly Morgan says probably, but ugly in our zone. Mark says definitely agree. terrible, frustrating, brutal period. Karen says no. Ray-Ban says slow, shaky in our own end. Dobish looked weak at first. Pimp says, I can't think about a worse period. What bothers me is that it came at the expense of Buffalo exploiting our weaknesses. Well, hopefully the Canadiens can turn that around. Dobish, Harry says, just not being Dobish we expect. EF says, Buffalo is gaining confidence. Habs need an answer. Kelly Winger says, yes, probably the worst first period. Hopefully Marty can wake them up. Dobish, worst period, no question. Do we see Fowler to start the second? I guess not. Bob says, I love Slav, but there's no way he's 100%. Since he was hit, back to his old habits. One hand on the stick, blind bad passes, out of position, can't clear his zone, and has stopped hitting. Hasn't looked good. The good news is, Ray-Ban says that Buffalo probably thinks it's over. I don't think they think that at all. I think they're expecting a lot of pushback. Karen says, how about that second period in Game 7 with no shots on net? That was the worst period. Guys, have we forgotten the no shots second period in Game 7 already? Have you ever seen the Habs win the Cup? Yes, I saw them win in 1993. I was alive for the 86 one, but too young to remember. Harry says, we're leading in shots. That is true, but Buffalo did not need to take very many shots because they scored three goals on 9 shots. And at one point, they'd scored 3 goals in their first 4 shots. Yeah, exactly. It was the worst period for Dobesh, Phil says. Specifies, I should add. 3 goals against on 4 shots for a moment. Where are we? But since the whole team has to regroup, Pimvesh says, I would stick with Dobesh for now. It's not like Marty has to point out that they played like poo-poo. That's a good point. His team might want to rally around the goalie that has saved their butts so often in these playoffs. Bad period defensively, Rick says. The worst period? Defensively, definitely the worst. David says, no shot second in Tampa was the worst. That was pretty bad. Mark says, if Slav is 100%, then he shouldn't be playing because he's a liability right now. It's true. Somebody else could probably, if he's not 100%, it looks like it. Leafs fan, 67, seen lots of cups. Oh, you're talking to the Leafs fan. Good point about Slav. He's using his frame. He won't contribute much. Pimp says, I thought they actually played pretty decently defensively that period. This one was just atrocious. So you're talking about the zero shot period. I see what you mean. That was just such a tight game, right? Regardless of who wins tonight, Rabinov says, this series will be decided in Game 7. They got to get to Game 7 first. David, Tampa only scored 1 in that period. No? Yeah, they only scored 1, I believe. David thinks that the hit from Mitchell Crozier on Slavkovsky did him in mentally. It did coincide with his drop in play. I don't know what happened, but did he hurt his shoulder or something? Maybe. Dobish and Fowler are going to be our tandem for the next 10 years. They will work together. They can't both be perfect every night, which is why I always thought that we would see Fowler at some point in these playoffs because they would want to get him that playoff experience. And I think that was always going to be the plan, but Dobish got hot so fast that obviously you could not take Dobish out. But I do think the plan was always to have a tandem goalie for these playoffs to give them both playoff experience. Blue says Dobish will bounce back, but the 2 goals are on him. Ryan Katz says it's only a 2-goal game. I'd say it's not. Timur says if a teammate has an off period, you pick him up. Time for this team to do its stuff. Dobish saved their bacon more times than I could count. That's Pimp said a pretty similar thing that keep Dobish in and have Marty use that as motivation to the team. Like, hey, he's had your back. Time to have his back and play some better defense. What do we got? Max says I would bench Slav for at least 3 shifts to get his head on straight. He was atrocious. Is that going to do anything at this point? If he's kind of shell shocked, he's shell shocked. I wonder to what extent being a new father has impacted Suzuki's concentration. G. Smith says I think Suzuki's playing better now, though. I will say his line mates aren't helping him too much, but I think he's doing okay. Bob, stop being rational. Bob's always rational. It's his best quality. Harry's gonna take a break. Gonna take a break. Gonna go sit on the porch with the cat. That's good. That sounds calming. Pips, just checking about selling those tickets if anybody wants. I will say, Pip, a lot of the fans who attend this live blog, not Montreal, like former Montrealers, a lot of expats on here. So I don't think there are that many who can go, to be honest. Um, so I think yeah, you might try to find better luck with a more current local crowd. The fact that Slav was laid out at center ice with his eyes down tells us he still has lots to learn. Yeah, he got to learn to not take a hit like that badly. Uh, Rick says, never say never. First, you'll blame your team. Tickets for what? Pimp selling tickets for game six. Rick, if you want tickets for game six. Ray-Ban says, I never count the Habs until it's zeros on the clock, but that was a rough period. Pimp says, Slav is young, but he's not a baby. Saturday will be his 300th NHL game. Can't keep using his age due to seeing a lot of NHL action, including on the top lines. Yeah, he's taken steps forward. Hopefully, he still has more steps to take. But these playoffs, I think, have been a humbling experience for him, and it's going to be really interesting to see how he rebounds from this. Like, is this the best that we've seen from Slavkovsky? If so, that's pretty disappointing. Um, yeah, he's gonna have to like gut check here and realize that he hasn't done enough. Habs will be fine as long as they don't start taking stupid penalties. So there were no penalties in that period. Wasn't that nice? There've been so many penalties in this series so far, including lots that kind of halted momentum. So it was nice to finally have a period with no penalties, but lots of stuff still happened. It was still a crazy. Mini blew a 3-0 lead last night after letting in two in the last 3 minutes, and then Kulak ended it in OT. Our favorite. I like Brett Kulak. Not sad that they traded him for, I guess, what ended up being the pick that got Lane Hudson. So, sorry, not sorry, but and no penalties and no broken sticks. What a weird period. Rayman says at least they played defense in Game 7. That's true. Clutch Kulak, just as we've known him to be. No, but that's fine. Goes to show in hockey, you never know who's going to be the hero. How much are tickets? Karen is asking. Pimp. Here, look at me playing ticket broker over here. The refs have put away this whistle for this one. Not complaining them. It's weak. I mean, I will say, Max, I don't think I saw anything particularly penalty worthy. This game was more about the goals, and everybody seemed, as people were saying earlier, the defense was pretty lax for both teams. So I don't feel like we necessarily saw anything worth a penalty call. So it's possible that could change. look like look like a junior B game. That's funny. Habs signed a new defenseman in Laval, Aiden Dubinsky, and keeping the team strategy, he's just 6 feet tall. No, the Canadians have pretty tall defense. How many defensemen do they have that are currently under? Just Hudson and Carey. Everybody, all the other defensemen are pretty tall, I'd say. Hello to you and End. Greetings, guys and gals. Would you like seeing Fowler if Dobish seems too shaky? I thought they were going to put in Fowler after the third goal, but I guess Dobish has earned himself a lot of rope here. I always like Kulak as a Hab. So do I. Somebody compared Struble to Kulak, and I can see it. Where Struble's like a little more mobile than he gets credit for, a little bit of a better puck mover than he gets credit for, but like he doesn't necessarily do any of these things like at a top four level. You know what I mean? So it's kind of an interesting case with Struble and with Kulak, where they kind of have the pieces that you're like, oh, they could maybe be like a lower four, but they're probably more of a 5-6. If it's a bad goal, Fowler in. Well, I thought the third goal, but I guess it was off a deflection. Sidney Crosby not wearing the C for the national team is strange because he came in late and they had already announced Celebrini. So I kind of understand why they didn't want to take that away from the kid. You know what I mean? Like, here, Macklin Celebrini, here's this great honor for you. Oh, sorry. Sidney Crosby just called. I think Sidney Crosby's also a good enough leader that he knows that taking the C away from somebody that you already gave the C to would be kind of shitty. So I feel like Sid's a good leader, but it looks weird. But D. Smith, I totally agree with you. It looks funny. It looks super weird. But hey, you know what? Um, Super cool that Sidney Crosby's playing in the Worlds. Rick Woods reminding me to remind you guys that Saturday's game, for some fucking reason, starts at 8 p.m. I am livid. I am so tired, everybody. I guess I'm gonna wake up an hour later than usual, but I am tired and I don't want to be working till 1 o'clock in the morning, but I probably will be. It sucks. So please email Gary Bettman on my behalf and say that I'm not happy that Saturday's game starts at 8 p.m. But I'll still be here. I'll still be here for you all. I do. She hopes that they do put in Fowler if Dobesh still struggles. Yeah, I definitely. Who was it earlier that said like one more goal? Like, I think it was Kelly Winger who said one more goal and Dobesh is out. I agree with that, unless he makes like a million saves and then lets in a goal. The good thing about 5'10 D man, Dobesh can see over them. I don't think our defense is small. Like Hudson is like a special case because of who he is. Carrier is small. The other four are pretty decently sized. And everybody else in the system is pretty decently sized. So I don't know. I don't like you make an exception for Hudson. Carrier is pretty good. And I don't find the rest of the defense is small. I bet Crosby told them to keep it on Celebrini. That's what I think happened for sure. Mark also says, I hate that it starts at 8. I know. It's too late for me. I might fall asleep during the game. Molino's doing a great job, so Gallagher has to be our worst kept secret old ace up our sleeve. Yeah, I feel for Gallagher, but this is just not the series for him. Too big. The Sabres are just too big and too fast. Okay, we're back for the second period. Is that our first Saturday night game? It is indeed the first Saturday game. Isn't that crazy? Oh, that's fun. Shane Doan is in the house. The guy that should be the general manager of the Canucks, but they seem to be screwing that up. Karen says, I'm retired. Time means nothing to me. I'm lucky if I remember what month we're in. That's funny. Anyways, back for the second. Good luck, Pimp, on selling your tickets. You got some buyers here. Eric Norton says, I'm listed at 6'1". Reality is apparently different. I was 6'1" when I was 21 years old and more upright. And now I'm a little more hunched over, and we're getting to about I think I might even be a tinge below 6 feet at this point. But officially on my all my registration and all my information, I am listed. I am listed at 6 feet tall. When I was a kid, Hockey Night in Canada started at 8 p.m. Back in the day, all games started at 8. Yeah. Well, I don't. I'm not used to it anymore. I only remember doctor's appointments. Yeah, I do have a weird memory for that. I can remember the doctor's appointments. Can't remember anything else. Oh, I did forget to say that Carrier and Deneau assisted on the Texier goal. Anderson goes offside too often. Slow down. You know what? It happens when you're a guy like him who's got a lot of speed. He's got a lot of like forward momentum, so it's hard for him to stop. And he's not a very good puck handler. So if you don't hit him with a correct pass, like he will be offside more often than not. That was a great trade, by the way. Everybody's quick to badmouth the old regime and Kevin Adams, but I gotta say the Paterka for Josh Doan and Michael Kesselring has not played very much this season. I don't know if he's a scratch or if he's hurt, but I think he's a pretty exciting defenseman, and if he's available in the offseason, I would certainly make that call to Buffalo. He is another 6'5" monster of a human being. Tavia is harping on Slav, as they should. As they should. Hasn't been good. Has not been good for Caulfield and Slav. Caulfield looks like he's finally starting to turn it around, but we just haven't seen Slavkovsky do the same. Pimpash is true, but part of me wishes the other players were balls out as Anderson. Maybe they should drive in harder. Something to learn there. Anderson is definitely the one guy that they have who's got that north to south. Bolduc's getting there though. Completely out of sync with our passing, and suddenly Buffalo looks like a shutdown team, which is not good because Buffalo is not a shutdown team. So if we're making them look like a shutdown team, not a good sign. Timur says yes, they start the games earlier because they got to cram in more commercials. Yes, it's true. The broadcast has ballooned to 3 hours for a game instead of the tidy 2 hours. Was that a zero penalty first? Sure was. Not a single penalty in that period because nobody was playing any defense. There you go. That was a good save by Dobesh. He needed to make that one. Sabres players are routinely left wide open in the slot. Yeah, the Canadiens were really good. They're not good in the season, regular season at clearing the slot, keeping the slot covered up. And then I thought did a great job against Tampa. And then now they're kind of losing the plot a bit again. Well, that was a great shot block. Who was that? Was that Gooley? Or is that Carrier? No, nice to see Carrier going after Greenway. The first penalty will be soft like tissue. Yeah, I think at some point they're just going to call something and it's going to be really, really whack. Pim says Buffalo's just playing a simple but hard north to south game, and we're stuck in neutral. I like that. That's a good way of describing it, Pim Fash. I might steal that later. No, I'll give you credit for it. But you're right. Buffalo's game is much more direct than Montreal's. Montreal does a lot of passing around, which is maybe not the way to be doing it in the playoffs. I do think Buffalo's game is a little more playoff ready than Montreal's is, but I think Montreal is a more talented team. So it's like, what's going to win out here? Like the system you play or talent? Marty sticking with Dobesh. No real surprise because it's only one goal differential. But if it was 3-0, Fowler would be in. I like this. Greenway's tough, but only if the other player's 5'11". Yeah, he doesn't want the smoke from Jack Guy, that's for sure. Unwatchable, Mark says. Yeah, this is now a minute in the Habs zone. Ay, ay, ay. The Canadiens are gassed. Another horrible shift for the first line. Horrible shift for the first line. This is a debacle. Dobesh is back. Yeah, that was a big save on Tage Thompson, but that's another bad shift for the first line, guys. That was really, really disconcerting. They just were totally clueless out. They didn't know where to go. Totally clueless. Too much for the guys getting Dobesh's back. No, Dobesh has their back now. Nightmare shift. Lucky to have survived it. Wow, no D-men back, only Slav. It's a mess. Must have decided defense wasn't needed tonight. Your cat did not help you, Harry. I'm sorry to hear. Pim says the Habs have looked like they've quit or tired, and it's brutal, getting repetitive for our first line. Yeah, the first line issues are starting to get. I mean, they did score one of the goals tonight, so I guess within context, but that was a particularly bad shift. So I don't know. I don't know how to assess that. They did give the goal back like right away, so I think overall they're not great. Our guys were gassed, big pressure on the forecheck. Yeah, but like it's our first line. Why is our first line getting boxed in the zone? It rarely happens during the regular season. Team looks tired. Team looks sloppy. Oh, you guys are not feeling what you're seeing now. Buffalo's now past Montreal in shots. So what was the so far in the second period? It's 4-1 shots. 4-1 shots for Buffalo in the second period. So really not the Habs have not mustered anything in terms of in the first 5 minutes here. I may get banned for this, but nothing worse than sloppy seconds. You won't get banned. You'll get a little chuckle from me, but I know what you're doing here. Ozone time. I'd settle for clearing the puck. Well, they're in the zone right now. Can they keep it in? God, no, they can't at all. Blue says lots of overreacting. Still a 1 goal game. They're not playing well, but it's still a 1 goal game. Marty better quit giving them optional practices. I mean, I think they're just at the point of the season. Would a practice do anything at this point? I don't know. Maybe just to work on some refining some elements, maybe getting the power play, work on the power play a little bit would be nice. As read in the Montreal Gazette, strippers in Montreal are going on strike. Won't even be able to tempt the Sabres players. It was a fun season regardless. Oh my god. That's a little. That's maybe a bit far. I don't know. Refs to put their whistles away. Refs letting them play. That is a nice element of this game. Overreactions on the live blog. Hard to believe. It's what this place is all about. This place is all about your unvarnished reactions. And then I get to tell you if your reaction is too much or not. That's the fun. I know. Shea Pere on strike, man. Total domination by the Sens. Sure is. That's by the Sabres, rather. Did I say the Sens? The Sabres. Oh my god, what an absolutely brutal clearing attempt by Dobson there. What is he doing? At least it got out. Valeno with a nice chance. We feel he's due. How can we be so bad when we've been so competitive? I mean, it's a one-goal game. It's not. They're not playing great, but these games have ebbs and flows. We've seen it all playoffs. On the plus side, Dobish is playing well now. It's true. He has settled down pretty nicely. Cinnamon, I don't know what that is. Oh, we got a. There you go. How about it? He needed that one. Josh Anderson. We have another tie game. Unbelievable. Here we go. Craig Simpson said it right. Icings matter. What's with all the lane passes? Well, that was not a lane pass from Lane Hudson. What a great pass from Lane Hudson right there. Hudson is the one who elevated, is the one young gun who elevated his player in the playoffs. Lane Hudson's the best player on the team, I think. Is that a controversial thing to say? I think Lane Hudson's the best player on the team. I think they got a lot of great players, a lot of great young players on this team. Oh, are they challenging? No, they're not challenging. Anderson needed that one. But yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think Lane Hudson's the best player on the team. Has anyone noticed that whenever the blog starts insulting a particular player, that player immediately scores a goal? Karen, we should test that theory out. Oh, Demonov with a chance. Guys, I think Demonov is due. I think Demidov is due. If you want to ask me who I think's closer to breaking out, Demidov or Slavkovsky, I think Demidov's due. I don't know. I see what you guys are doing now. I see what you guys are doing. Slav is just awful. I see what's going on here. You called Anderson a dwarf. You must be huge. Yeah, man. I'm just looking at Demidov on the bench. I don't know, guys. I think he's starting to figure this thing out. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Go make dinner. Fuel up. Oh, Caulfield with a nice chance there. We puck's hopped over. Pim's happy at least Demidov is shooting. Hey, the first step towards scoring is shooting, right? Oh, another nice try by the first line. Oh, I would have liked to see Dob, but it ended up working out okay. This game is like, yeah, the Habs are dominating the second. What a weird. This is the NHL, man. This is how it goes. They get low and we get low, and then they get up and then we get up, and then nice to see some pressure. Looks like the espresso's kicking in. I wish I'd. No wait, I did have a late espresso. Actually, at 3:30 today, I was on the cusp there of having another coffee or not, and I did have another coffee. The Habs have totally flipped the script. Dobson has an absolute bomb, and I think I would have liked to see him shoot and then crash the net. That pass just gave the goalie time to set up. I agree, Pimp. I thought he had a lane to shoot, and I was like, here, yeah, Dobson has a great shot, and he effing passes. Maybe his hand is still not great for slap shots. It looked good in his first game back, but maybe it's like swelling. I don't know. If the Habs get a go-ahead goal, Jack Eye up to a tidy 5:36. Hey, at least we won't hear too early in Ole Ole. Oh, they definitely might. There's definitely enough Habs fans in Buffalo to get it going here. I think. Oh yeah, I just wanted to thank our buddies at the Buffalo News. We're doing a trade of photos for the playoffs, which is super dope. So we get their photos, and then they get our photos. It's a fun little trade off between us and our pals at the Buffalo News. Hudson just can't get hockey out of his mind. It's Hudson is, man, married to the game. Married to the game, that guy. I love it. Oh God, no! Don't give me the weird stanchion bounces, please. I'm not ready for those. 12 years ago tonight, has he Boston in the Game 7 playoff game. Then Lucic has worked for Dale Weiss at the handshake line. What a legendary moment that was. I think that was the series that I went to Boston and fought a guy. I think that was one that. Well, I didn't fight the guy. The friend I was with fought, and then I had to back him up, basically. Oh, what a stop by Lukanen. Guys, Demonov is getting. I can you feel here? I like Demonov's getting close. He's having a night tonight, guys. I know that like results, but like the process is there. He's starting to turn it up, I think. I like what I'm seeing from Demidov tonight. Three Hab players in the Calgary discussions. That is pretty amazing. And I think they have just as good a chance maybe having a guy next year in Jacob Fowler. Demonov's playing a good game. He's so close. He's getting many chances. I just feel like tonight's tonight's the night. I heart Hudson for real. Evans line starting to click. I mean, they've kind of put up a goal or two every game. This is Demonov's best game, Mark says. Pim says Carey was telegraphed though. The goalie was sliding over before the puck even got there. Yeah, that's fair. Davidov sucks. He's a shrimp who can't skate. Karen, I don't know if we've figured out if this razzing the player will cause him to score, but I appreciate that you're still trying. When he starts scoring, watch out. And then Pim says, "Yeah, can he start soon, please?" Yeah, we're running out of time here. Like if these guys don't turn it up soon, they could be like Minnesota, man. Minnesota thought they had all this time. Does anyone know the name of the after dinner liqueur they have in Greece from the tree sap? None of us can remember the name. I don't know either. Greek? Not Uzu. You're not talking about Uzu, are you? Uzo? Uzo. Uzo? Uzo. Mark says Uzo. I think it's Uzo. Is that made out of tree sap? I never asked. Oh, man, Dano. I better just do that. I hate them all. Please score. What a great chance though by Dano. They were about a foot from taking the lead in this game. Can you believe that? Where this game has gone? Penalty. Not a fan of Uzo. Karen is. Well, not what you want to see right now. That's for sure. Way to contribute stuff. Well, he does have an assist tonight, so he's not like totally disastrous tonight, but he's not doing great. Oh my god, Michael, don't even start with this. We already had this conversation. You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me right now. Unfortunate penalty. Uzo isn't tree sap, it's anise flavored. Yes, that's true. It's not tree sap. That seemed weird to me. Maybe it's something else we're talking about. Guy ran into a stick. But we said it. We said that in a game where no penalties get called for a while, the first penalty is always going to be kind of whack. I'm not surprised. Good power play for the Sabres, but the Habs kept them to the outside, and looks like they're gonna survive it here. Nice, back to 5-on-5. Must That was a must. First postseason shorty coming. The shorty did not come, but they are back to 5-on-5. We are back to 5-on-5. 18-14 in shots for the Canadiens right now. There's less than 5 minutes left in the second period. It's tied 3-3. The first 5 goals of the game were scored in the first 10-15 of the game. Sabres led 3-2. And then in the second period, the Canadiens tied it up. Josh Anderson off a faceoff. Quebecers would have figured out how to make alcohol out of tree sap right now. This have you never had sortilege? It's beautiful. Good stuff. Get some sortilege, Rick, next time you. Oh, it's Mystica. That sounds about right. Slav will be pissed off now. It hasn't happened yet. We'll see. Anyone under 40 is a kid to me, Karen says. It's funny. Slav is not a kid. Everybody take a breath, Karen says. Tied 3-3. The shots are close. Huge kill. Brutal call. Hudson needs to be careful. Turn that one over. Can't give Buffalo a free one. Good kill, Pimpash says. Let's get back to pressure. Buffalo will take a penalty eventually. Yeah, I wonder if the Canadiens will get a power play. And if so, do you think we'll see the same power play that we've seen? They didn't look very good in game 4. Could Marty shake things up? Probably not. They didn't practice very much. I don't know if they had time to. Hey, we gotta get Let's Go Habs in here like that. My wife asked me to run to the store. Right. Ray-Ban, just get on your phone and like Uber Eats it or DoorDash it. Not here to advertise Uber Eats, but these are the moments that I use Uber Eats when I literally have the game is on and I need to buy something. But yeah, I would just order it on the app. She'll be so happy when the person knocks on the door and it's like, here's the thing that you needed. You can buy anything on Uber Eats now too. I'm not here to like sell it. I don't get any paid for this, but treat time for the cats. Yeah, my dog eats at 6:30, so I always feed him before I come on here. Oh my god, I can't believe the Canadiens are taking the lead. This is making something out of nothing. It's pretty unbelievable how this has happened. Just a really nice stretch pass, and then Demidov, who we just seemed finally, although I guess it wasn't him that got it, it was Evans, but Demidov finally. So Demidov didn't get it, but let's all be real here. Demidov's the reason that happened, and he was due. Finally waking up. I know some of the quiet halves are starting to get it done. That was because of Demidov. I told you guys he was playing bad, but it didn't preclude them from not like figuring it out. And I wanted to be like super clear about that. Like when these guys are playing badly, I'm not like, oh, they're playing badly because they're like they have no heart and they're lazy and bad and dumb. I don't know. Sometimes they're just like not playing. I don't know. Sometimes they get gamed. You know what I mean? The other team's just playing better. They can't figure it out. They're struggling to get through. And now the Habs go on the power play. So this is a real opportunity now. Another stupid assist, another stupid penalty by the Sabres, man. I don't know who came in game one. One of you guys was like, "Oh, better watch out. The Sabres are really disciplined," and I was like, "No, they're not. They're not disciplined at all. They're tough. They're a tough bunch of cookies, but they're not disciplined." And the one thing they have not been in this series is disciplined. I can't believe it's 5-3 already. Unfreaking believable. This game has absolutely turned. It is 5-3 Canadiens. Unfreaking believable. This is a meltdown. Tage Thompson is basically fighting with his coach right now. Fantastic pass from Slav. Hey, has forgotten how to pass well. Finished period. Oh my god, you guys, we can all exhale a little bit. Good end of the period here. Unfreaking believable. They were down 3-2 to start the second period. They now lead 5-3. What an absolute unbelievable. Hold on, we're just updating the Gazette website here. Got to keep the Gazette website fresh. This is really where it was at with the Habs. I was just like, this team is too skilled to not figure it out against the Sabres. It's not to say the Sabres aren't a good team, but just like pure skill wise, the Habs got them beat, man. Our sticks are way quicker now. Marty keeping Dobish is why he's the coach, and I am not. Sam. Sam. Karen, it's working. Yeah, I despise this team. Let's make it 6-3. What was Thompson thinking? He has been a real bonehead in this series. I don't think he scored 2 goals, but both of them were kind of fluky, and he's taken a lot of bad penalties and made a lot of bad mistakes. I've we've all talked about how like uh oh, we got to get a Tage Thompson on this team. I don't know. Tage Thompson, this particular Tage Thompson has not been great. So the second period is over, and it's 5-3 Canadians. I'm in complete and total shock. I'm in complete shock. Let me know if you guys are. Are you guys just shocked? I'm shocked at the turn of events in this game. Massive difference between the first period and second period, Rick Wood says. Two different Habs teams, 40 minutes. Kelly says, such a bizarre game. These boys are never out of it. Ray-Ban also said he called Fowler. Dobish got better as the game's gone along, Ryan said. You got to think Lindy will bench Tage Thompson or send him down a line. Could happen. Karen said, told you all the grasshoppers to relax. Karen said, who are we going to bash next? Yeah, who, Dumb penalties always end up in your net, Ryan says. Mark is in agreement with me. Total shock. I'm glad Marty doesn't listen to the live blog. I wanted Dobesh out in the first, Blue said. I like that we can all laugh at our like terrible things that we say sometimes. Some of the knee jerk reactions that we have. Because we're all guilty of the knee jerk reactions. It's part of the fun of being a Hab fan. We can just say whatever the hell we want and it doesn't affect the team at all. What about Tage Thompson's pirouette that other game that led to the goal? He's wonderful. Much better than our losers. Pinfash says, I think if Buffalo had scored, they would have. Dobesh would have been out. Absolutely. I think Dobesh would have been out. It was 3 goals on 3 shots on Dobesh. No, it was 3 goals on 4 shots, Rick, I will say. I mean, which is not much better, but I will say. Their goalies allowed 2 softies. Yeah, he was so good that last game, but he has not been good tonight. Mark says, yes, I was wrong calling them to pull Dobesh. Might have hurt his confidence. He's the reason where we are. I said in the first, the Habs are a great comeback team, Blue said. Murray knows he's the best, Kelly Winger says. Karen says, Dobesh all the way. David Darcy says, much happier now. Karen's... Really a commercial to fly to Madrid? As if I need a reason to fly to Madrid. I would fly to Madrid tomorrow if I could. Phil says, holy moly, what a game so far. Ray-Ban says, I didn't hate on him. I just thought he had a rough start. Yeah. No. None of us thought Dobesh was a bad goalie, but just he gave up 3 goals and 4 shots. And if Marty wanted to change the team up, he would have done it. But no, he kept Dobesh in. One more goal, it's over, Ray-Ban says. Dobesh shakes off bad goals. Yes, this is the incredible thing about Jakub Dobesh. He does not get rattled. Lets in a bad goal. Next shift, he's doing what he's doing, playing aggressive. What an incredible game so far. This game is... What a change from the Tampa series where we were agonizing over every single play, every single opportunity, because there were so few opportunities to come by. The games were so tight, and now it's a 6-5-3 8-goal game. 8-goal game. Slavkovsky got 2 assists tonight. He's not having a bad game tonight, Slavkovsky. He's not as like aggressive as I think we'd like to see him be, but he's being quietly decent tonight. After, I mean, everybody was rough at the beginning. Montreal tends to choke. Real Kev says, wouldn't surprise me if the Sabres come back. Actually, the Canadiens are known for being like a comeback. Oh, you're saying they can't hold the lead? They have had trouble holding the lead. I will concede that. They will. Get rid of your post. It appears to be frozen on the screen. It's not frozen. It's the score. Karen, I leave the second period score on a little bit longer because people often drift in and they ask me what the score is. So I at the end of the period, I like to leave the second period go a little longer. In reality, it wasn't the regrouping in the second. It was the hat. Rick, now we're talking. Now we're talking for real. Look at this baby. Look at this baby. That's what did it. It was all the hat. It was all the hat. Any chance Gallagher makes an appearance in Game 6 in our home rink? No. No, Bob. Sorry to say. I just don't think this is the series for Gallagher. It's not to say that we won't see him again, but this season, the Sabres are too big and too fast. I just don't see where he fits in. I have hair. I do have hair. I have a lot of hair. I have a lot of hair, but I do wear a hat all the time. I will say. Checking in before I hop on my flight. Haven't seen the game, but 5-3 sounds good to me. Go Habs, go. Al Wilson, where are you flying to? I'm happy you could join us before hopping on your flight. Safe travels wherever you're going. Hopefully, you're going somewhere fun. Everyone is so much nicer now that we're ahead. Karen, it's funny. Winning does that. Winning does that. It's funny. BX says Thompson had no reason to cross-check Evans. No, Tage just has a lot of rage problems, and that's the problem with Buffalo. Buffalo's a physical team. They're big, they're fast, but they like don't really know when to pick their spots. Tampa, on the other hand, excellent at picking their spots. They were really good at knowing when the refs weren't looking. Like Kucherov is the master at this. He knows when the ref's not looking. Get that little poke in, annoy people. I feel like Buffalo does it right in front of the refs, and they stick their foot in their mouths every time. Which again, I know we said that we're not going to use youth as an excuse, but it goes both ways. I do think Buffalo sometimes looks a bit inexperienced out there. I'm the sixth man on the ice. I like it. I have been the forum ghost the whole time. Herrick, I do have hair. Did you guys think I didn't have hair? Was that the conversation you guys had without me? You were like, "Does Eric have hair?" I do have hair. Too much hair, I would argue. Actually, I need to get a haircut really soon. I predict Demidov will score tonight. I would argue that that goal that Evans scored was basically the Demidov goal in a way, right? Wow, Elliot is talking about putting in Lyon in the third period. That sounds like a terrible idea. You work with Stu. What did you want us to think? I know I'm there's some weeks I'm in a panel with I'm in the background producing, and then it's Stu, uh, Rick Green, and Brian Scrudlin. Nyland's got a great head of hair, but occasionally it's those three, and then I'm the only guy with hair in the room. Cole is back. Cole is looking good. There's a viewing party at Videotron Center. Guys, 15,000 people showed up to the arena in Quebec City to watch the Habs tonight. What do you guys think about that? I was kind of shocked. That's where we're at this point. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that it's absolutely nuts that Quebec City is now? Does it make you like a little sad? It makes me a little sad. I want them to have the Nordiques. I want them to be mad at us. Rayban, it's true, Rayban. You have kept telling us that you think Lindy has a history of choking. I haven't actually looked into that, but he did coach Buffalo for a long time. 1-0 Ottawa charge against the Victoire. Damn. It really sucks that the games are at the same time. Cole Caulfield took a lot of heat. He took a lot of heat. Anand says, I am bald, and you, baby, hairy and bold. Keep rambling on. For you, easy good. I will keep rambling on. That's what I do on here. No way you put Lyon back in, Ryan says. But the panel's saying they're going to do it. They might do it. That's crazy, isn't it? I think it's crazy. Lyon gave up 11 goals in 2 games. Sure, put him in. Quebec is hockey crazy, Darcy says. Yeah, but they're crazy for the Nordiques. They don't like the Habs, even after all these years. I find it crazy that the barn in Quebec City is rooting for the Habs. Did they put Lyon in? Our guys will salivate. The panel is saying that they should. The panel is saying that they don't trust. The Hockey Night in Canada panel is saying that they don't trust Luukkonen, that he hasn't looked good tonight. Rick Wood says all of Canada seems interested. Look at the Leafs fans tonight on the blog. I speak from Toronto and people are talking Habs with me. Are they going to have, if the Habs make the finals, could they have a watch? I know they have watch parties like a bar in Toronto will have like will show the game or whatever. But could they be putting it? I don't know. What's the cap here? Remember Buffalo is young and haven't been in the playoffs in 14 years. I know. Their youth is starting to show. This is where the Canadiens. You guys were saying, oh, the Canadiens are like you guys said, like, oh, Slavkovsky is 300 games. He's not a baby. This is where I think the Canadiens having a little more experience, not a lot more, but a little more, is starting to pay off. Pinvash says they got to come out hard. Buffalo has too much size possession. Can't play prevent defense against them. They are worse when forechecking hard. Let them into the zone, and you are playing with fire. Pinvash, I 100, 200% agree with you. That is, you cannot play prevent defense against the Sabres. The Sabres are too north to south. They will just come in off the rush and shoot on Dobas and try to get bodies in front. The Habs need to try to get a third goal here. They need to get Buffalo to take stupid penalties. They need Buffalo to make stupid, aggressive, risky plays because that's when they start taking penalties and make mistakes. Exactly. Phil says can't sit on the lead. The Habs are as young as the Sabres, though, perhaps maturing faster. I think last year helped a lot. Last year gave them an indication of what it takes to win and lose in the playoffs because they lost. Um, and I am a firm believer if you got to lose to be able to win. So the Habs got their first like kind of dose of reality last year against the Caps. This year they came into the playoffs and they have not been intimidated physically. They weren't intimidated against Tampa. They're not intimidated against Buffalo. So they learned a big lesson last year. Last year's playoffs, the big lesson was you can't be intimidated by another team being more physical, and it worked. So now the next thing that they need to learn is how to close out games. That is something that they have not done. They didn't do it last game. They didn't do it in game 6 against Tampa. Tonight is the night they have to do it. If they win tonight and they go back to Montreal up 3-2, Buffalo's got to pull off a miracle to win 2 straight games. It's a big, big ask. So they got to do it right now. 2-goal lead going into the third period. They are in the driver's seat. They, as Herb Zukowski said, they've got him on the ropes. It's time to knock him out. Time to knock out the Buffalo Sabres. Let's do this. Did Timur leave? He didn't he have to go make dinner? Was that who had to make dinner, or he had to go to another room? He's gonna come back, Karen. I think. You guys know we're absolutely gonna sit back and defend. It's what we always do, and I don't like it. I don't find that they do. I find that sometimes they just like get manhandled a little bit, which hopefully they can't. It can't happen. The Marty process is the same either leading game or behind. It was never catch up hockey. David said the fact that we lost last season against a physical team like the Caps has been invaluable. That's when we talk about youth, it's not about excusing bad performances, but it's more like they gotta learn like what it takes to be a winning team. No team full of young players and rookies like magically comes in and wins. Like they do kind of have to get their asses kicked a little bit. And last year, they got their asses kicked by a Washington team that was just bigger and older than them. And they did go back to the drawing board. And all the guys were like, okay, we weren't good enough. What do we have to do to be good enough? Got some new players, but it was mostly the same players, mostly the same team as last year. And then now they've come in and they haven't been intimidated. So that's what we mean by youth. It's not about like they're young, like whatever. It's more like they're gonna get knocked down, and then we're gonna see if they can get back up. And that's the difference about like youth compared to like 34-year-old Sidney Crosby or whatever being like, does he still got it? Like Demidov is gonna have like a crappy game where he can't get anything done, and we're all going to be like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Can he get back up and have a good period and score a goal, or in this case, get an assist? Slavkovsky got bonked twice in the first round. Can he get up and turn around and like shake off what happened and not be afraid and go to the net? Like that's what when we talk about youth, that's what we talk about. Praying for second period Dobish, not first period Dobish. Man, he shook off a really bad first period, and I'm really impressed. See, Dobish is a guy. He's young, but man, he like learns from his mistakes fast. Killer Instinct was the headline in the Gazette on X. Yes, it was. Herb Zukowski has used it. Herb Zukowski says the big test this year for the Montreal Canadiens is can they develop the killer instinct? Do they have the killer instinct? So far, they haven't. But they did win in Tampa. They did win game 7 in Tampa. Was that the beginning of them understanding, okay, this is how you like win a series? Minnesota tried defending the lead and lost. Yeah, against a team like Colorado. Oof. Losing to Washington last year is the big reason we're here. Exactly. And I can't tell you, like, I think last year we were all pretty, like, sane, but I definitely have seen people. Lion is in. This is, guys, this is going to be wild. The Buffalo Sabres officially don't have any goaltending. They're going to have to win this series without goaltending because they now have two goalies that have been chased. Herb Zukowski is the man, by the way. Alex Lyon is in, guys. Not a great start here, but you would not totally surprising, I would say. Oh, posts. Not like we have to play to defend. We are up by 2. We can press without worry. Yeah, that's it, right? Like, I mean, you don't want to do anything like stupid, but you definitely want to be aggressive with the puck. Breakout night for Demidov. Thank you, Lindy, for putting in Lion. I'm shocked. Hey, got another Torontonian from Toronto. Been following the Habs since the days of Bernie Jeffrey on 63 in the summer of after the Stanley Cup parade. I'd like to see the Habs pick up Louis Crevier. Oh, he's a big boy. I don't. Chicago's not going to trade Crevier, are they? I'd love it too. But isn't Crevier also kind of just their jack guy? Like I feel like if they're gonna keep they might as well just keep Jack Guy if they're gonna keep Jack Guy. But Crevier seems like a solid guy. I won't deny that. Oh yeah, we were saying never say the undefeateds because that Here, I gotta ask you guys. I gotta ask, is this period the series right here? Is this it? Is this really like the moment that's gonna decide the series? Is this the turning point of the series? Mark 1 says yes. Mark 2 says no. Hope Dobish laughs. Freezing the puck. I like it. Pressure in the neutral zone. Yeah, they gotta get pressure. Keep pushing. We got Rick says yes. Karen says yes. Ray says yes. What a play by Demidov, man. Guys, Demidov again driving the net. And Dahlin, who takes a lot of penalties. Hage, yeah, no Hage next year. Make him pay. Let's score now. This could really be the end. FYI, when the playoffs started, it has 27 players on the roster. 15 Canadians for both, eh? There you go. Yeah, Suzuki scored 10 seconds into the last power play. Will this go the same way? It will not. We're already well beyond 10 seconds into the power play because Buffalo won the faceoff and dumped it down right away. All Demidov right now, baby. What a shot. Incredible shot. Well, there you go. We were all saying that Demidov hadn't showed up in the playoffs, and now Demidov is a hero. Funny how those things happen, but it's how it is. I'm not like putting down what anybody was saying because Demidov definitely did not play well to start. But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't preclude you from eventually having the night that we expect you to have, and that's what happened to Demidov. He had to learn how to lose until he could learn how to win. Good job, Demidov. Attack boy. Now don't wait 17 for the next one. Exactly. One a night for Demidov. Where has that been? Had to learn. Had to learn how to learn how to score in the playoffs. Didn't have enough time for rookie scoring. Well, the Habs have won 3 games in the series, or are about to win 3, I should say. And they've been blowouts. Do you think the hysteria of the Bell Center makes our boys nervous? We tend to do better on the road. I again, this is like quote unquote young team business. I do think that there's a bit to that. I do think that they feel that without that energy, you kind of can just play your game quietly, but they're gonna have to figure it out. They're gonna have to figure it out. Interesting. Commenters were saying the Habs would need to score 5 or 6 goals a game to beat Buffalo, and they've done that 3 times now. So is this going to be a third blowout game? Super interesting. Demidov now has the taste of a playoff goal. Can't wait to play at home on Saturday. Anderson never takes a day off. Buffalo is shell shocked again. This is something that Buffalo is going to have to be super concerned about this offseason, regardless of where this goes. Um, Buffalo is going to have to really like look at this offseason and be like, man, we had this great hot streak, got to the playoffs, but then we started giving up like 5, 6 goals. Playoff, win or lose, man. Playoff hockey cannot beat it. Cuthbert just compared Demonov to Kovalev. Maybe not as dipsy doodly. Slav was happy for Ivy. They live in the same apartment building. Ivy's been driving Slav to practice and games a few months now, while Slav's car is waiting for parts in the shop. Riot Police will be out Saturday. Do you guys think the Riot Police? Do you guys think it's gonna happen? What do you think? Do you think we're gonna get the Riot Police on Saturday? I don't know. People are pretty calm nowadays. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Kovalev was known to disappear. I was at the third 3 overtime game against Boston in 2007 or so when Glenn Murray slashed him on the hands and then went in and scored on the breakaway in triple overtime. I was at that game. Can they pull Lion? Yeah, for real. What's the score? I fell asleep. It's 6-3 Canadiens. Leafs fans. 6-3. When time allows, it's commercial break. Time allows now. Do you prefer the old format or the new playoff format? Um, I'm not that. I don't feel that strongly about it. I don't feel that strongly either way about the playoff format, but this year was especially hard for the Atlantic Division. There were 3 excellent teams in the Atlantic Division and then 3 other like quite good, like Ottawa and Boston were pretty different. What's the difference? So before it was just 1 to 8. So if you were 1 in the conference, you'd face 8 in the conference. Now you have to face like the teams in the division. So in this case, this season, the Montreal Canadiens division was a lot better than the other division, the Metro. So the Canadiens had to face a very difficult first round opponent in Tampa and have now had to face another very tough opponent in Buffalo, whereas they probably wouldn't have had to face such hard play teams. But that's basically what happened. So happy Marty stuck his guns and didn't take Dobesh out. I think Fowler would have been fine, but Marty kept the faith. Man, it is death. It's so quiet in Buffalo right now. Ate a pork tenderloin and almost missed 3 goals. I love a good pork tenderloin. One of my favorite things to cook. Ryan prefers 1 versus 8. Karen prefers 1 versus 8. Yeah. Oh, Mark already posted that. I didn't see post that. Marty was looking for Fowler for sure, but decided against it. A very interesting decision that he had to make. So far, Marty's decision making, I think, has been really solid in these playoffs, including showing faith in his first line. Like at the end of the day, they're winning more than they're losing in these playoffs, and even if you have a line that's struggling, you don't necessarily know what's going to happen at the opposite end of that. You know what I mean? You guys, it's like the first line's not doing well. You're like, oh, what if we split up the 2 lines? Well, suddenly you could have 2 lines that are bad. The Marty legend keeps growing. I think he's had a tremendous playoff. I really do. Ooh, thank you for subscribing. We have another episode of Hockey Inside Out tomorrow with Chris Nyland and Rick Green and Stu Cowan. What is it about tomorrow's? Today's is about Jack Eye. Oh, tomorrow's about Jakub Dobesh. We have an episode about Jakub Dobesh. So we film them all one. Everybody knows this. Tools of the trade here. We film all the episodes in one day at the beginning of the week, like the beginning of the week, and then we keep going. Dobish took a swing at Tuck. You know what? I love Tuck coming into the series. I will say, guys, I was a big Alex Tuck fan coming into the series to the point where I was almost like, he might be the unrestricted free agent who's a little older that I would consider signing. And honestly, I haven't been that impressed. Hey Yara, thanks for joining. John is safe to watch now. I think it's a 3 goal lead. If he's feeling nervous, Karen says we're so lucky to have the tandem of Gordon Hughes and Marty. Other teams would kill for the trio. I think they might be, if not the best. Oh, bouncing puck. If they're not the best coaching and managing group right now, they're close to it. Maybe like Colorado's. Maybe Colorado's probably the gold standard right now. Don't we have a Tuck Jr. in the system? Yeah, his brother Luke Tuck, who hasn't like shown that he's got enough to make the pros. But you know what? I would never discount a big guy who can skate okay. He might like make it as a fourth liner. Since we're comfortably in advance, I'm allowing John to listen to. Yeah, John can listen. I'm cool with that. I'm a bit surprised, but all of my Leaf friends here in Ontario seem to be cheering on the Habs. Welcome to the bandwagon. Welcome to the bandwagon, Leafs fans. Come on board. We will take you. Keep pushing, Pimpfash says. I agree with Pimp. I just want this game to be over. I just want them to not give us a couple minutes of nervousness. Like, let's just end this year. Next year, Protz will be ready for some playoff action. I would strongly doubt that Protz is gonna just like make the show right away. He probably needs a little bit of seasoning, but maybe not. I don't know. Protz and Pickford in Laval next year. Gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of fun next year. The way Montreal moved on from the first was pretty great. Yeah, Tage and Tuck -8, -7 this series. That's crazy. I did not realize Tuck was that bad. I knew Tage was that bad, but I didn't know Tuck was that bad. Tony is live at Cafe Milano. I should do, guys. Should I go somewhere? No, I don't want to go anywhere. I've invited some friends over to the house, but everybody knows that I'm not that excited. I'm not that fun to hang out with when I'm live blogging. I'm in the zone. Read on X today several Leafs fans calling for a fast rebuild. Without the tandem Karen pointed out, along with the ability to collect picks, it's just not that easy. Here's the thing about the Leafs, though. They're about to get Gavin McKenna, who I would generously call a potential Marner replacement. Similar games. So the big issue with Toronto last year, they lose Marner. So you get a guy in who maybe can like replicate some of Marner's play, try to fast change the defense. You still got Matthews, Tavares, Nylander, and I think you've got a decent goaltender in Woll and Hildeby. I do think that Stolars will probably go on LTIR. I think his career is probably in trouble here. So I do think Toronto's in a position where they're going to have to try to go for the playoffs next year. You're too far in the middle that you can't get to the bottom. Now, if they lose Matthews, yeah, sure, you're at the bottom. Start again, but I don't think they will. Habs getting a chance here. Anderson's down in front, but I think he's probably just getting a little breather. Cannot cheer for the Jays, Mark says. Yeah. Expos only, baby. Expos, Olympic Stadium. This is the hat. We're wearing the hat. I'm wearing this hat on Saturday, guys. They could have the reincarnation of Wayne Gretzky and they'll still suck. Does Lindy Ruff pull a Roy? Oh, Owen Power. Owen Power is going back to the dressing room. He was definitely limping a little bit. I'm sure Cuthbert or whoever that is has no idea what Marty tells his players. That's true. We don't know. If I tried cheering for the Leafs, my head would explode. As I tell people, oh, sorry, Harry says, as I tell people, I'm a Habs fan and a Leafs sympathizer. I guess when you live in Ontario, you kind of have to at least. If the Habs weren't in it, I'd cheer for any other Canadian based team just to spite Bettman. Spiting Bettman is a good reason to do anything, Timur. I'm down. Lindy Ruff busted a hemorrhoid. It's a gross thought. Oh, we're getting a little Olay here. We love that. Mark, you live in Sudbury. Jays are Canada's only team. Not the Jays' fault the Expos left. Well, they did vote for contraction, so it's partially their fault. It's 1/28th of their fault. Aragorn says, I came to Canada in 67. The minute I saw the Habs and heard Foster spew it, I chose the Habs. That's funny. Fester spew it. That's good. Well, Buffalo hanging around in the zone. I doubt Marty yells at the guys. He probably just laughs and says, "Just fucking win it." You know what, Marty? Marty's a mix of big tablet energy, and then he'll say he'll criticize a little bit. But yeah, I agree. I don't think he. I think he's more of a new school motivator. Eight. I can't believe there's still 8 minutes to go. When will this game end? Exactly. The Jays voted to contract the Expos. No forgiveness. What happened to Buffalo, Steve Frost? You know what? As much as we like to compliment the Habs for playing a good game and coming back and this and that, I got to say, Buffalo allowing 5 goals, 6 goals, 6 goals in the playoffs has got to be pretty disconcerting for them. Again, they're a young team. They're going to get better, but like, that's not great. They're going to have to like realize that maybe things are maybe the team is not as real as that streak was, and that there's a little more work to be done here. TNT isn't showing the chances of winning anymore. Is it because it's 100%? Benson isn't smiling anymore. Haven't seen much Zach Benson tonight. They choked. They played 20 minutes. Jays voted for the Expos to move. It's true. Ray-Ban has said the whole time that Lindy's boys would choke. And Lindy's boys would choke. Man, I'm Tage Thompson, guys. I mean, the Buffalo News definitely got it out of him that he's hurt, but he's been awful. Tage has been just really, really like. If you're a Buffalo fan, man, you got to be disappointed in what you've seen from him. Ooh, wait, Timur. Timur came back. Timur came back. We exposed their suspect goalies. You know what? That was the big weakness of them coming into the series. They were riding a hot goalie in the first round, and that hotness has run out. Tage is awful, but Tage is a 41 goal scorer in the regular season. He's like he shouldn't be awful. Just like how we could talk about, think about like Slavkovsky. We talk about Slavkovsky struggling. He's not struggling nearly on the level that Tage Thompson is struggling. And Tage Thompson's a better player than Slavkovsky and was a better player in the regular season. So, what is that? What does that tell you? Tage is the Matthews of Buffalo. That's the thing. So we talk about our guys struggling, and it's totally legit. It's totally fair to call out Slavkovsky and Demidov when they weren't scoring. Totally fair to call them out. Empty net. 6:30 left, and Buffalo has no choice. This is their season. This is wild, man. This is desperate. This is beyond desperation for Buffalo. They have no choice now but to somehow score 3 goals in 6 minutes. Karen also wants 7. Lisa wants a goalie goal. I think Dobesh will try one day. Yeah, it's H. Thompson trying to get the refs to make a call, but not gonna happen. 5 more goals. Hey, maybe if they keep the net empty. So if oh, I won't even get to it. But the NHL did release the schedule for the third round. Let's not even. Let's not even. Every team has players that struggle during different points. It's true. There aren't really any player. There aren't any really there. The players that don't. I would even say that you know what we were so fortunate. It really speaks to how incredible of a player Nick Suzuki is that he rarely ever gets that cold. Oh, your new dog Stanley has been good luck so far. I think he's been good luck. Good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. If they called embellishment, it would stop all that head snapping back. Yeah, it's pretty bad. They did put more experienced referees in tonight, and we're seeing the difference. And the Canadiens needed to score 5-on-5, and they've shown up, and they have scored five goals at two. No, they have two power play goals, so they've scored four at 5-on-5, and then they went 2 for 2 on the power play. Amazing! They went 2 for 2 on the power play. What was the difference tonight on the power play? By the way, oh my God, your edibles kicking in. Ooh, you know what? I'm taking tomorrow off. I could take an edible after this game. I can't during. I still got a file after this, but maybe after. Yeah, Montreal 2 for 2 on the power play tonight. What do you think's the difference? What's the difference? They were so bad the other night. Nate McKinnon is a crazy man. I can't believe he didn't score the game winner for Team Canada. He was right there. Ugh, brutal. Better than 1%. I know. What changed? Put the same guys out. I guess they just changed up the strategy. They moved around a little more today. I don't know what happened. Wait, Timur badmouthing the Olympic Stadium. This Olympic Stadium? Wait, there you go. That Olympic Stadium. Timur, I've got the Olympic Stadium on my hat. No icing call. Great. 4 minutes to go in this game. Shots 18-3, apparently, for Buffalo this period. Crazy. Habs have done well with their ex-Habs. A little less so with Drouin. Oh, he was all right. Then they got rid of him. Had a good time. The Olympic Stadium. Not a fan. I worked in the Big O as a Pinkerton guard way back when. 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week. Damn. That's a lot of time to spend at the Big O. There you go. That was UP asked for your phone number. How does UP? So it's a 4-on-3. So it's a 4-on-3 or a 5-on-4. I'm just waiting to check to see if it's a. Night Timur. I mean, it's probably still going to be a Habs win. I don't think this power play will change anything, but have a good night. It'll be a 6-on-4. Are they going to? Well, I don't know if they'll pull their goalie. One, two, three. Yeah, they will have their goalie pulled. So it's a 6-on-4 then. Okay. It is indeed a 6-on-4. I'm a little surprised they're pulling the goalie. The Habs have a free shot now to get an empty net. I would have considered just having the power play, but whatever. Again, it's so they're so desperate at this point. There is still 4 minutes left here. Well, 3 minutes left. There's 3 minutes left, not four. What a play by Evans. Evans and Carrier, man, great job. And no icing, so there's just lots of time being drained here, man. There's 2 minutes left. 2:10 specifically. Are we gonna see some Buffalo sure is tough when they're down six, or when they are 6 on. Sorry, not when they're down. When they are 6-on-4. Yeah, not only 6-on-4, but down 3 goals with 2 minutes left. They're definitely trying to drag that. They know what's going on here. They're gonna try to get back in it, but they're mostly just trying to drag the Habs. Lindy Ruff panics and it trickles down to the team. I mean, he and Tage Thompson did not look happy on that play after the bad penalty. It looked like they were unraveling out there. I hope Timur is not upset. No, I think he was just upset. He doesn't like in the last 5 minutes of the game when everybody's like cross checking each other and doing stupid things. He's not a fan of the like brawling for brawling's sake stuff at the ends of a game. He's not like mad at us or anything. Not worried. Buffalo's trying to set the tone for Saturday. Yuppie tried to pants you. Oh my god. Je téléphone la police for that one. He did say he was leaving, so he may have gone back to sleep. Okay. Well, the power play's coming to an end at least. Power did come back, by the way. I did report earlier that Power went to the dressing room, but he is back. Yo, this Olay chant with a lot of angry boos going on right now. It is. I would watch out anybody getting back to their car after this game. People sound not happy about what happened here. They are not happy what happened tonight. By the way, we're in the final minute of play here. Still an empty net as the Buffalo Sabres just are trying to just get, at this point, just trying to salvage the night. They led 3-2 at one point and allowed four unanswered goals in the end. Four unanswered goals. This one is getting near the end here. Bit of a glacial pace here for the final. Feels like a high stick with 7 seconds left. Dobish got better as the game went along. He sure did. Linesmen are slowing the icing. Our 3 wins have been blowouts. Let's close them out at home. Marty proves against why he's the coach. Why do they leave? The seats are empty. Frustration and anger. I doubted. I stand corrected. Nice comeback from the boys. Yeah, Mark, they played really well tonight after starting off terribly. How did I lose the bet that Marty isn't coach of the year? What a game. Let's finish him off Saturday. One more empty netter. Last call for tickets. Nobody wants Pit Fashion's tickets? Okay, we're done. We're done the game tonight. Unfreaking believable. Down 3-2. The Canadiens come back and win 6-3 and have now taken a commanding 3-2 lead in the series. They're going back home. They're going back home on Saturday at the Bell Center. Game starts at 8 o'clock. I don't know why. It's going to suck. We're all going to be sleep. We're all going to be like Timur, and we're all going to go to sleep during the game. But Dobish still perfect after a loss. This guy is money, money, money. All right, y'all. So what do we got? Kelly Winger says Habs start slow and run the Sabres over in the second and third. Rick says thanks. Scores aren't indicative of the Habs in the first, but what a 40 minutes, and that was indicative of the Habs in the series. See everybody Saturday night. Karen won $19. Amazing. Enjoy. You get a pack of smokes right there. Pretty good. Karen's a night owl. I'll only get up at noon. Okay, so you're in good shape for Saturday. Thanks, Bob. Good to see you as well. I hope your next doing good. Steve Frost. Good night. Good night to you. Leafs fan just gained a subscriber. Thank you so much, Leafs fan. Welcome to the show. Hockey Inside Out. We got another Hockey Inside Out episode. Please watch all our Hockey Inside Out episodes. We got ex-Habs Chris Nyland and Rick Green on the show. Love those dudes. They're so good. Saturday will be epic. Oh, it sure will. We got this easy. Never say never, but that was a pretty convincing win. Pretty convincing win, guys. I can't text and message. I need another device. Get 2 phones. I got 2 phones. One for the plug and one for the load. Always, always. Another great decision by Marty to keep Dobesh in. What a amazing Karen, Karen, you and your son won tonight. Amazing. Enjoy the winnings. Get some Uber Eats right there. Some nights Dobie saved the Habs. Tonight the Habs saved Dobie. That's what a cohesive team does. Oh, I like that. I like that. Bend, don't break. Impressive. Demidov woke up. Hudson was his usual brilliant self. Dobish bounced back. Very satisfying result. I love it. A good recovery from a bad start. No kidding. All right. I'm starting to believe the Habs are by far the better team, and I'm a glass half empty kind of guy. Mark, believe it's happening. It's happening. See you, Leafs fan. Thanks for coming. 90 night to you as well. I'm the biggest glass half empty guy in the world, and I think I have to agree with you. Oh my God, what a turning point this is. This is a bigger turning point than anything. Okay, so I got to tell you guys everything is coming up. So in about an hour so after this, you can go on the website, go check out the Liveblog replay. You can see all the goals if you want to relive the game. You can watch all me as well. You can watch all my highlights and your comments as well. And then about last night, we'll have all your comments. That comes out tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Then in an hour or so, you're gonna have Herbert Zukowski's The Hidden Game. And then tonight, you're also gonna have Stu Cowan's filing tonight. Of course, he's filing tonight. Stu never misses. He's on. Brendan Kelly was at a church tonight. He was at a church tonight where they're showing the Habs. The photos are incredible. You guys got to come on the Gazette website tomorrow morning and check out the photos. He went to the St. Jack's Church downtown Montreal. I don't know that one, but the photos are incredible, man. 350 Habs fans packed in a tiny church watching the Habs. You love it. This is what the team's all about. And then you're going to get tomorrow morning, there's another Hockey Inside Out episode about Jakub Dobesh, and it's great. It's about Chris and Rick talking about the weirdest goalies that they've ever played with. Get ready. There are some stories you guys are going to find it hilarious. And then we do this all again Saturday. I will be back Saturday, 8 p.m. I don't know why it's late, but we're going to do it at 8. We're going to watch Canadiens, maybe eliminate the Buffalo Sabres. They looked real good tonight. 3 blowouts in this series. Can they make it a 4th? We're going to find out. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody. I will see you guys Saturday. It was almost boring at the end, and Nan says, sometimes boring is nice. My heart can't take so many exciting games, and Nan. Better be boring sometimes. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Thank you so much. MontrealGazette.com. Victoire won an OT. They're going to win the Walter Cup. It's all Montreal. It's all coming up MTL right now.